All right, let's connect it up here, guys. Coming at you July 17th, 2022. Sorry, it's a little crazy day. It's been a crazy weekend, but we'll talk about that. Don't worry, guys. So ultimately, guys, we're being good. We're being here, safe and sound. Talk about the Walking Dead universe. Big stuff coming up next weekend for us. Comic-Con is coming at us next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Walking Dead related is next Friday. So let me make sure that we're good here, connected for everything in there. All right, my guys, we're good. So hopefully, guys, you're safe and sound. Spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. Other shows just like that. Better Call Saul is back on. The next episode will be back tomorrow on Monday. And it's kind of good that we have different shows on like Sunday shows, Monday shows, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But we're losing shows as quickly as stuff comes back. We've lost some stuff too. So we'll talk about a bunch of different things. Careful of spoiler stuff, if anything, like Better Call Saul and stuff. I don't want to ruin it for anybody there. Spoiler warning as always. But Winterfell 26, what's up? How we doing? So next weekend, like I said earlier, just waiting for people to join. I just repeat myself here that Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2022 will be going on next weekend. And it's bittersweet because it's the last Walking Dead panel for the main show. I would assume they'll be back for Tales of the Walking Dead or even the Daryl show. Daryl Carol. If we ever get the Rick movies, it may just be like a Walking Dead universe panel where they may have that because I think they want to keep their presence there. That's just my guess. I don't have any knowledge of that whatsoever. So what's up, Winterfell 26, Rob K, Kami, Negan 1, Wilson, Big Tree, RWF 456, Jack. Thank you guys for being here and for the rest of the people joining and commenting there too. We truly appreciate the time. So this week we finished Ms. Marvel. Last week we finished The Boys, Stranger Things. I can't remember when I finished the Terminal List because if it was like earlier this week and whatever, but I finished that. It's crazy when you finish a show and you want more of the show. So hopefully Terminal List will come back for season 2. I'm not sure. Just started a show on FX called Bear or The Bear. It's about a restaurant in Chicago. And it's kind of crazy. The first couple episodes are a little, much for anxiety. It's a lot of crazy, high-paced, anxious, working in a restaurant type thing. But it's a different kind of show, and I like it too. So, but hopefully you're safe and sound. You're enjoying your summer. If it's a summer vacation, if it's just a Sunday for your 5-day work week, it's what's been going down. So I've been pretty busy myself. I've been doing house stuff. I've been doing yard stuff. I finished up my book series. Fight for Us Reckless is available now on Amazon in paperback and digital format on Kindle. And I wanted to finish it before this live stream. And I did. I finished it on Tuesday, Wednesday. Both things were up, and it's available now, and I'm excited for it. And, hopefully you guys are checking it out. If you're not, that's okay, too. It does support the channel. It comes back to, making time for videos and everything as well. But if you don't, maybe you'll check it out down the road. And I know down the road, a lot of people asking me about the Audible, the audiobooks. And the format of it's different. If I could just transfer it over, that would be great, but you have to actually talk the chapters through and do all that. And so I thought about doing something on YouTube, and I did actually the first, couple pages of it on YouTube and broke it down for you. And it's just kind of weird to read it like that. I don't know. It's kind of weird, and especially it's just weird to read my books over and over again, and ultimately, especially with the characters that are involved with them, loosely based on my friends and my family too. So let's get some questions here. Jack, hey, Bri, where do you think Victor Strand's character will go now? I don't know. I was hoping Victor Strand would be the villain and he would die last season, because Victor he's a complex, complicated character, but to me, he's not that great of a character in the Walking Dead universe. There's I don't know of a lot of characters on Fear the Walking Dead that didn't come from the Walking Dead, right? So if you take out Morgan, you take out Sherry, you take out Dwight, they came from The Walking Dead. So technically they're Walking Dead characters. And even though they're Walking Dead universe characters, well, let's take those out. Alicia, she's had her moments. Madison, not a fan. Travis had his moments. but overall not really, short-lived. Chris, no. Strand, he's okay, but I think he should have really became the victim. Like, it would have been really cool to see a person in our group to be part of the group as a hero, a good person we're following, and to truly become the villain. Because he was a fake villain. He was a Fugazi villain. He was not really good because he was like playing villain. Then he saw Alicia and he's like, Alicia, you're alive. Oh, I love you. Oh, wavy, bye. See ya. I don't know. It's just, I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what they're going to do. Ultimately, Padre should just kill them off. Right? That's really how it should go, too. So, Carthy, we have no idea when they're going to start streaming it because it's going to be fall 2022. So is it September, October? We just don't know yet. Hopefully we'll find out next weekend. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. I don't watch Fear, so I got to ask. When Morgan went over there, did he lose his again, or has he finally got together? Also, what's up? So, John, Morgan never really went full clear mode again. He left The Walking Dead to bring somebody over to help the show. He's not in clear mode. He's not taking people out. He did take a couple people out, but he wasn't like all life is precious, and he wasn't like clear mode. So he was somewhere in between. But he gets stuff done. When in doubt, give it to Morgan on the show, just like when in doubt, give it to Daryl on The Walking Dead. But I think Morgan has helped the show. I like Morgan. I like Lenny James. So anytime you see Morgan and Lenny James, it's good for the show. It's good for the universe, too. So, yeah. I don't know. You should check out some of the stuff in Season 4 if you like Morgan. If that's your guy, when your boy Morgan, if that's your guy, John, I would check it out just for that. So it's just started Season 4. Don't even go, before those seasons. It doesn't even matter. Jack Bryce, it's just me, or we don't get any Rick news. I'm going to lose it. It's been over 4 years. Like, come on. Yeah, man, I'm with you, Jack. I'm gonna keep my expectations low for Tales of the Walking Dead, for Comic-Con news related to Rick, the Maggie and Negan show. Let's just keep our expectations low. And if anything else comes along, we'll be greatly appreciated. We'll be excited about it. With that being said, I really expect Rick to be news something there. If they want to, it's not hard for them to say the Rick Grimes script is done. We're putting the final finishes on it, the finishing touches on it, and let's just have some information for Rick Grimes. He may show up. We may see him sooner rather than later. I really hope we get a post-credit scene. I think a post-credit scene will make the most sense for the Walking Dead final part. To me, it doesn't fit at all if he shows up in the final episode, because he's not going to come up before that, in my opinion. But I think it makes the most sense for him because the Walking Dead show is over. It's done. Forget about it. We're going to go to the Daryl show, and it's spin-offs now. So the Walking Dead's done. And let's have the Gimple spinoffs. The spinoffs take over. Tales of the Walking Dead could be very interesting if they do it right. I do like the casting choices that they have. They have a lot of great actors all over those episodes, so it should be great from that aspect too. But again, the writing is lackluster. You can have a great actor. It doesn't matter. The writing is just poor. 6 episodes, 6 stories, 6 different stories for Tales of the Walking Dead. I would love to see a CRM connection, like a major CRM connection for some angle here. Whether it be a troop, a soldier, someone from the Civic Republic, not the military, the Civic Republic, because we're still waiting about that. Major General Beale. It's not going to be in this first season. This first season is going to be like, oh, there's these 2 women hanging out in an apartment, and they're friends, or maybe they're together, or whatever. And then they go and they do this, and then one dies, because we know one of them gets bit. And then we know in these 6 episodes, does anybody live? Does not? I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But it could be interesting. I don't think, there's a lot of hype going around Tales of the Walking Dead, because that's the next thing that comes back. On August 14th, less than a month away, we'll have Tales of the Walking Dead. So Tales of the Walking Dead will be our first show back after Comic-Con. And hopefully we get the trailers and the news and the dates for it. So from today, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 weeks. It's exactly 4 weeks away from when Tales of the Walking Dead starts. On AMC, it's going to be season 1, episode 1. On AMC Plus, it should be season 1, episode 1, and episode 2 should be on AMC Plus. That's just a word what they're saying. So we'll have to see how it actually plays out. And Jack says, asks the question, do you think we'll see Clementine in a spinoff in the future? I'm not the biggest Telltale Games fan, so if Clementine comes around, cool. If it's not, it's like John doesn't even watch Fear the Walking Dead, which I'm not knocking on, but a lot of people just watch The Walking Dead. Is there enough people that would watch a Clementine show? I think so. If Clementine has a following from the video games, and it's a great adaptation from that, you could draw people in. Why not have a live action aspect of it? A live action video game with Clementine and the people from those video games. It just makes sense. Because I think AMC in the Walking Dead universe wants to make that go on for a long time. It's a cash cow still, I'm guessing. And since they have AMC Plus, I finished Dark Winds as well. It's 6 episodes, and it's good. The acting is good. The story is good. It's entertaining. It's interesting, and you got you got a Breaking Bad person in it. You got a Walking Dead universe person in it, which is always good to see. And so it's cool to see, different shows like that. So I recommend Dark Winds on AMC as well. David says, Terry Crews' character has a red stripe on his helmet. I hope he doesn't die. Well, you know how I feel about that, David. I hope he doesn't die either. And I know Olivia Munn's character has like a red beanie on in one of the photos. So it doesn't bode well for these characters. And if it's 6 episodes, 6 different stories, I would think majority of the characters die except for Alpha, because Alpha, we know she dies on The Walking Dead. So she'll survive her episode, and we'll see how that ends. So, it's definitely something where I'm like, if this was kind of like the start of stories, if this was before The Walking Dead, it was like Tales of the Walking Dead, and they went into The Walking Dead, it would probably have worked better. I haven't even seen it yet, but just my early thought of it, because I want resolution. I don't need more characters to like or not like or just follow. We need conclusion and resolution of the Walking Dead universe. Now, they've already spilled the beans with stuff, this being the last season, the Daryl show. It was going to be the Daryl and Carol show. Carol's out. Maggie and Negan should hopefully have started filming either this week, maybe this week. We haven't seen any photos or pictures of it specifically. Fear the Walking Dead. I know there's a bunch of pictures from Denai Garcia, who plays Luciana. She's in Georgia, and she's taking photos and having all these places, and I think it's Savannah where she's at. I've never been there besides driving through and staying at a hotel, and haven't really seen much of Savannah, but I know that it seems like one of those things where if Fear the Walking Dead, more and more people are there, it should start filming very, very soon. But it's crazy to think that they're going to start filming now. Like, when is that show going to come out? February? Most likely, right? Because if they haven't really started filming yet, and if they're going 16 episodes, if every episode is 2 weeks, that's 32 weeks. That's 8 months. That's a long time. So you can film the first part and have that in February, and then have the other part in the summer. I don't know what they're going to go from here on, and hopefully they have a plan. But it's just crazy too. I was thinking about different shows, right? Like, I hold The Walking Dead in a high standard, and I love The Walking Dead universe, even though some people think I complain about it or hate about it or say things about it. Like, I'm still a supporter of it. I still talk about it. I still, recommend The Walking Dead universe. And I talked to a couple patients and their family members, and I was talking about the Walking Dead, because they were talking about Stranger Things and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I love the show The Walking Dead, and it's filmed in Georgia and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, yeah, I watched the show until the one kid died, and he died in season, I think it was the season 8, I think it was. Like, that was Carl. Yeah, Carl died, and it was a shame, people gave up on the show. And I was like, a lot of people probably gave up in season 7 when Glenn and Abraham died, and then Sasha died, which people probably didn't like, but, it's a sad thing. But they were probably got over it, but they couldn't get over the fact of Glenn and Abraham died. And then Carl died a season later. And then Rick left. And then Michonne left. So from season 7, 8, 9, 10, like that's a lot of major characters leaving the show. And that's not going to help the bottom line. You know, if you lose a lot of beloved characters, that's not going to help your show whatsoever. It just doesn't make sense, too. So, Mike, I didn't mind how I figured that was going to happen when we know that Gus hid the gun down in the super lab. So we knew that would come back around again because I love The Walking Dead, but Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, Vince Gilligan does the best job for all of them, Peter Gould and all the people involved with Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. They do a great job at setting things up, foreshadowing stuff, and just setting it up in a way that pays off. Like, it's great. To me, it's one of the best series for that, and I love that. And I think that I'm really interested to see what happens in this week's episode 609 to see if anything happens to Kim or not, because if the foreshadowing portrays and it comes true, we'll see what happens to Kim there. Because we only got so many episodes left. I think we got like 5 episodes left. So we got to wrap it up. And it's not the Kim Wexler show. It's the Jimmy Better Call Saul show. So Kim is a part of that, a great big part of that. But how does it end up with Saul? And where does he go? And all that stuff with... It's just, I don't know. It's crazy to see how it goes down. It's going to be interesting, too. Wilson, do you think the picture of Yumiko outside the cell could have Sebastian inside if he follows the comic, kills one of our group? That's a great question, Wilson. I actually made a video about that I will post tomorrow, and I don't have Sebastian as one of my people that are in there. I have a more... Because I don't think Yumiko... Like, why would Yumiko go talk with Sebastian? Because I think Yumiko would go talk to someone that she cares about and she likes. Like, I don't think Yumiko would represent Sebastian if there was a trial or a lawsuit or anything like that. I think it's one of her group people more than that. But I have a video about that, and I actually made it yesterday that I will post tomorrow for you guys too. So be on the lookout for that. Colt says, I want to watch The Boys, but I have a lot of other shows on the watch list. Yeah, it's a good thing. You know, Colt, definitely go through them and watch it and have a good time with enjoy the shows. But The Boys should definitely be on there. What else is on your list there, Colt? Well, let me know what's on there. What do you have? Invincible, I just couldn't get into it. Just wasn't for me. Jack says, how do you think Rick would have handled the Whisperers? Probably just as poorly as the rest of the group did. Basically, Daryl took over a lot of comic stuff from Rick, so it was between Daryl and Carol. And then Negan, of course, takes the cake with Alpha. So they kind of did what they were doing in the comic. I kind of felt like it was pretty accurate to that, too. Ethan Q&A, do you expect a CRM logo or a helicopter in the trailer for 11C? See, that's a great question, Ethan. I hope so, right? And again, I want to preface this. I want to put a thing, Hard Nixie. I want to say that I'm keeping my expectations low. I don't want to expect anything out of these trailers. I hope to see a CRM connection because that is the most logical thing to connect. Like, it just makes the most logical reason to connect with. I hope the CRM comes around in Fear the Walking Dead in season 8. I hope CRM connects in the final part of The Walking Dead. I hope CRM connects with the Rick stuff. I hope CRM connects with the Maggie Negan show. I hope CRM is the connecting glue that would bond all of these people together in the spinoffs. Be like, oh, we need a fix. We need stuff to connect. We need a fixture here to connect. CRM, like, you know that meme where it's like flex tape or whatever, where the guy's got it and he's got the tank that's leaking and it's like here, and he's gonna slap it on there. It's like CRM. Anytime you want to connect, stop it. Throw CRM in there too. So, Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, remember Morgan's friend, the cheesemaker, Stick Ninja. What if he survived and met Negan, and would he have gone with Morgan to fear? Eastman. Eastman was his name. He's actually named that after one of the creators of Ninja Turtles. Eastman is a character that I did like for the show. He definitely served his purpose, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, you love the questions. If so-and-so met Negan. If so-and-so met Negan. I don't know if it would have mattered. it's just a lot of characters never meeting Negan is actually okay. I think I think the two characters that would have been great to meet Negan would have been Shane and Merle. I think those would have been the best two characters to help the story too. So Colt's list is currently Invincible, The Boys, Vikings, The Wire, Sopranos, and Stranger Things. Man, that's a long list of shows there, Colt. The Boys is great. Vikings, I've only watched a little bit, but I liked it, and I got to get back into that. The Wire, again, I've only watched a little bit, but I heard it's really good. Sopranos, one of my favorite shows of all times. Stranger Things, great. So, yeah, and a lot of those are pretty long, too. Like Sopranos is like 6 seasons. Stranger Things is 4 seasons now. Going to be 5. The Wire, there's a lot of episodes there, too. So, and I hope that Tales of the Walking Dead connects with Tyrese and other characters like that. It would be really cool to see Tyrese again. The rumor was that we will. Hopefully people show up. If the only character we've seen in the Walking Dead universe so far, is Alpha, that's pretty weak in my opinion. You could have had Sasha, Tyrese, Jesus, somebody. You could have had other characters to come around. And Tyrese fits the mold for that in multiple ways. So will he come around? I hope so. Jack says, Brian, I'm going to Spain in 5 days time, and I'm still going to watch your videos. I appreciate that, Jack. We'll have a good time in Spain. Hopefully it's for a great vacation. Friends, family, it'd be pretty cool too. Yeah, John Water. Morgan, friend, the cheesemaker versus Jesus in one-on-one on a fight. So, again, John, his name is Eastman. So you can say Eastman. I think Jesus was the best fighter on the show, and I think he would beat anybody up. And he beat Morgan up pretty easily, and I think he would have beat Eastman up, too. I would have loved to have seen more fighting, more action, more martial arts with Jesus. But I think they really dropped the ball with that, too. And there's certain things they really dropped the ball with. And it really stems from season 8 on. The war stuff was weak. They didn't really utilize certain character strengths and comic stuff. So, I just wish they could have done certain things. And that would have helped season 7. To me, I've kind of started to think season 11. And I think I want to do my top 11 Walking Dead list of seasons once season 11 ends. Because number 11, the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, is going to be season 7. To me, I don't think it gets worse than that. And season 8 is better, but it's still not as good. So I don't know if I'd rank season 8. I think I'd rank season 8 better than season 2. Like season 2 has a lot of lull and just weak stuff about it. So, just to me, season 7 is the weakest too as well. But yeah, so we're watching a lot of stuff. I watched Thor: Love and Thunder on Saturday, and I thought it was great. I think Taika Waititi, the director, producer, just person who's been responsible for Thor 3 and 4, have really helped Thor's story drastically. If you go watch all 4 Thor movies, and you see 1 and 2 were terrible, in my opinion. 3 and 4 were great. And in this one, the 4th one, they bring back Natalie Portman. And it's probably she didn't want to do any more movies because the first 2 movies she won were terrible. Maybe it was terrible for her to act, or maybe it was a terrible story or a terrible process. I don't know. But she came back for this one, and she does a great job in it. So I think he does a great job. And just the characters, the story were really good. I've enjoyed it. I know there's mixed reactions with anything. There's always mixed reactions. Like, it's funny. I'll like a movie, and some people won't like it. I won't like something, some people will like it. And the people that comment are usually the people that give me opposing views, which is fine. But I just noticed that, too, about it. It's just pretty funny. And I actually really like Thor: Love and Thunder. The name's a little kind of weird, but I definitely recommend it. Chris Hemsworth is great. And all the different actors in it are really funny, too, And I don't want to give anything away, but definitely recommend it. If you like the Marvel stuff and Thor, definitely check it out, too. Jack says, Coke or Pepsi? Well, right when I was growing up, I would say Pepsi. But now, I've actually worked for Coca-Cola before physical therapy school. And I'd probably go Coke. I think Cherry Coke is the best soda there is. Or pop, or whatever you want to call it. But soda is, I think Cherry Coke is the best. Cherry Pepsi is good too, but there too. So Ringworm says, Coker, you're wrong. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. What if all of Carol's, it's like, it looks like it says corals, like Carl had children? Of Carol's children survived. I don't know. Man, John, I got to write these down for the what if stuff because these are great topics too. Because if you think about it, Sophia would be alive. Lizzie and Mika would be alive. I want to call her Minka, but Mika would be alive. Henry would be alive. You know, like so many characters would still be alive. And Michael Singer asks, "Are you watching the Open later?" I don't know. I really don't like the British Open. I'm more of a Masters guy. Like I love the Masters. I like the U.S. Open. And that's really kind of what I like to watch. Like the Open's okay. It's just not for me. Like I like the different scenery in golf and Tiger being out, and I don't have any fantasy lineups. I may check it out a little bit. I just haven't watched. I really haven't watched any of it myself at all. I just haven't. I've been so busy. Like this past weekend, like I said, I was working around the house. I had to go to Lowe's. I bought some block for the front yard to stop the erosion and stuff. Movies, stuff around the house, book stuff. Like this week's been crazy productive. And I don't know if you guys like my my posts that I kind of do, like inspirational or motivational posts. Some people give me crap in the comments, and it's just funny. Like, why would anybody be mad about someone just trying to be like motivational or inspirational or be positive for things? I guess they're just trolls, right? So, whether every day comes and it's only 24 hours, if it's good or bad. If it's bad, it can't end soon enough. If it's good, we want it to last as long as possible. But we just take it for what it is. It's easier said than done, but hopefully, you're doing all right. And again, if it's bad, it gets better. If it's good, just enjoy it. Just try and have some fun too. So, Rob K asks, anyone see Thor, Love and Thunder yet? I have. Hopefully, man. Wilson says yes. Thought it was awful. Man, why didn't you like it? Don't give too much away, Wilson. But why didn't you like it? I thought it was pretty good. Carol, hey Carol, Bri, do you think Carol handled Lizzie and Mika the right way? Well, she had to do it. She had to put, Lizzie down because Lizzie was messed up in the brain. She wasn't helping herself. She saw the world in a weird place. Like she would have killed Judith. Remember, like she said, I'm going to do Judith next. Don't worry, she'll come back. And you're like, oh my goodness, this kid is going to be crazy. She was a liability, and you could see it bothered Carol. It would probably bother anybody who has a heart and has empathy and sympathy for people. But Carol, it had to be done. It's like, putting down a wounded animal. I just equated to that too. So I think so. Yeah, well, yeah, I see your point, Wilson. He says it was too campy for me. I get it, but I like the humor of it. Like, it's kind of weird to think of like it's a comic book movie. It's a comic book thing. Like, they're not going to be perfect. It's a fictional thing. Like, he's the god of thunder, and he's going to be doing these crazy things with his hammer and then with his, Stormbreaker and stuff. And it's like crazy to think about it as, oh, this is going to be there. But I get you. I liked Infinity War and Endgame as well. And I don't think it's going to get better than that at all. I think when all the movies up to Endgame, I think that's going to be the peak for me, at least, of Marvel. The stuff after it is pretty good. Like the shows on Disney Plus, they've been hit or miss. Some of them have been good, and some of them have been WandaVision. Some of them have been Moon Knight, which I didn't really get into. But I liked what they've done going forward with it, and I like Chris Hemsworth as Thor as well. But I get it. I understand. I get it. So we'll have to see, how it goes down with everything for, going forward with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sorry, my cat is, Milo is crying. I'm trying to get, Milo's trying to get into one of the rooms. But, so ultimately, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound, and the summer is long and hot, and hopefully you're safe, and hopefully you're doing all right. But ultimately, we have a lot of going around with shows and entertainment as well. So hopefully we got, yeah. He's so like I said, it's actually this upcoming Saturday. Speaking of Milo, his birthday is coming up. He's going to be 15 years old, and it's like, what do you get an animal for their birthday? Do you get him treats? Do you get him a cake? Do you get him toys? Like what would you get your animals too? So yeah. Yeah, Milo would probably last about like 5 seconds before he wanted to jump down. But he's an old man. Like I said, he's 14. He's going to be 15 this weekend. So my wife Lauren loves to call him stubborn. He's like the most stubborn cat ever. But he's a good cat. He doesn't really do anything too bad, and he gets in trouble from time to time. But he's he's an old man. Cat years is a long time. 15 times, I don't even know what it is. 6 years or whatever it is for cat years. I have it written down somewhere, but he's just an old man too. So yeah, Wilson, I feel you. I don't want to give too much away about the movie, but it kind of felt like they could have had a bigger part in the movie as well. But I get it. I understand. It's not for everybody. Just like other shows and other movies, not everyone's gonna like them. Some people love it. Yeah. Yeah, we can't have any more animals in here. It's already enough with Milo and Otis because they're crazy. Like, Milo wants to sit around and do nothing, and Otis wants to play and attack Milo, and so it's like it's crazy. It's crazy at times. I have to separate them too. Ringworm says, my dogs had an ice cream party with that Ben & Jerry's dog stuff. It cost more than the ice cream I buy myself. I bet it does, right? I bet you could probably do a cost analysis of like dog or pet stuff and how much it costs for people, like equivalent to that. And animal stuff has to be, not everything, but some things have to be more expensive than people stuff, human stuff. It's like, man, they got you, right? Because it's like everybody wants this stuff for their pets. They want to give them the good food and the good stuff and the good care and the good, toys. But some of the stuff is outrageous. You're like, where did they get off charging this stuff? It's crazy. Jack says, imagine Rick versus the end of the beginning group. That would be insane. Yeah, it would have been cool to see, I hope when we look back at all the different things, if it's going to feel rewarding or not, like the entire franchise. Like, the peak of The Walking Dead to me is going to be seasons 4, 5, and 6. Like, it's not going to get any better than that, bigger than that. The viewers, the story, everything about it. And it's just one of those things where Fear the Walking Dead dropped the ball big time. And it could have been awesome. Like, imagine if Fear the Walking Dead was just as good as The Walking Dead. And I know some people love Fear the Walking Dead, but my opinion, and for most people, it's not. Clearly, the viewership is not there. It's never been that great. The very beginning was great because it was The Walking Dead, and then the offshoot, the spinoff, Fear the Walking Dead. It's just not that way. Now, what is a great example of what to do in a universe is Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had its story. It's Walter White, it's Jesse Pinkman, it's Saul Goodman, it's characters. It's Gus, it's Mike, it's those characters. And then you have a prequel story of one of the characters that's not the main character, but it's connected with them. Saul, very important to Breaking Bad. When he was introduced, he was very important after that. They talk about his story, his crazy experiences and what they have. They have new characters, but they also connect with old characters too, right? That's great. That's the way to do it, to connect it. The awesome way is to have the old with the new and the new with the old. Blended together, bing bada boom, recipe for success. Look how successful Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is, and eventually we'll say was. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, what if Beth survived? And yes, I mean to meet Negan. I don't know. I think she probably wouldn't even, well, she might have, I would have think, well, it's tough to say. Would she be at Hilltop already, or would she have been at Alexandria for when Maggie got sick? Because I would assume that because if you live at Hilltop, you never really met, Negan was never really in Hilltop at all. Like, when he was there with Alpha, he was still on the outside. He never went in there. Before it was Simon and those guys. Right? Am I wrong? Like, out of all the series, he never would have been there. So if Beth was at Hilltop, which she probably would have been, she probably would have never met Negan. Only she would have met if she was at Alexandria, and she probably would have been in the RV to go with Maggie. But those are good questions. I do. Jonathan loves the if this character met Negan, if that character met Negan. And these are great things, for food for thought for the what if stuff too. So ultimately, guys, we're doing well. We're hanging in there. Hey, Doreen. So we're hanging in there for this year. Hopefully you're safe and sound. I know there's been talk of the COVID new variant, whatever it is, BA2 or whatever it is. So be careful on there. Yeah, John. So I guess technically they're all Negan, but we all know who Negan is, right? Negan Smith, the dude in leather jacket. Never really saw him there. So be safe and sound out there. I always wear a mask and stuff when I see my patients because of, patients are not in the best health and everything there too. So just to safeguard myself and patients. And when I go to stores, I personally still wear it too. I went to the supermarket with my wife on Saturday, and I think we're probably two, if not the only people that wear masks, unless some of the employees wear it too. So hopefully you'll be safe and sound and safeguard yourself. And I know this supposedly the variant is more susceptible or highly transmissible. So hopefully you'll be okay. Excuse me. So as I cough on the mic, right? But ultimately, guys, hopefully you're having a lot of fun too. It's easy to get down in the dumps and depressed, and you have something to look forward to. Like tonight is Animal Kingdom. Monday is Better Call Saul. Tuesday, the show I love is Little People, Big World. Wednesday was Ms. Marvel. I don't know of the next show that's coming on for Disney Plus. I know that She-Hulk is coming on, but I don't know about that show. I don't really know too much about She-Hulk, and the way it's looked has been kind of ugh. And then a couple other shows like that. We'll get there too. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Did you hear the great news? WD is finally going to TV4. Yeah, I saw that. The PG era is going to go away. Hopefully they get the Attitude era. And I did watch, John, I think you asked me last time about the Undertaker biography. We watched that, I think Monday or Tuesday, and I love the biographies. Like, I watch it even on characters I don't, or wrestlers I don't even really care about. And it's just a good job, the documentary style of learning about them too. And who doesn't love the Undertaker though? Like, Mark Calloway as the Undertaker will probably go down as one of the best runs, if not ever, in the history of the WWE and wrestling. He's iconic for sure. Jack, do you think Daryl will ever run into Elizabeth Kublik? I hope so. Like, that would be pretty cool. So on Daryl's show, there's word that Daryl could run into other characters, right? So if he's in Europe, who's going to be there? Nobody of significance for us, right? Unless it's Rick, would be amazing, or Michonne, that'd be great. But unless somebody goes with Daryl, who's Daryl going to run into? The rest of our group's in Virginia, or wherever they are, New York, or wherever World Beyond people are. I think it would be great if there is connections. And again, Elizabeth Kublik is CRM, so it'd be great. Michael Singer says Halloween Ends trailer this week. I hope it ends already. Like, I'm not a fan of just prolonging stuff to just prolong it. And the Halloween franchise has just been that way. It's like, enough of this stuff already, right? Let's get rid of it. Halloween needs to end. So I would assume that people are going to die and it's going to finally be over. And then at the end, we're going to see movement, and then you never know. The music's going to play, and then over. Or is it? They always have to leave it open-ended, and now it goes down. Wilson says Friday. Friday is the TWD San Diego Comic-Con. Very true. So I know it's Tales of the Walking Dead first. I want to say 12:30 to 1:30, and then The Walking Dead is 1:30 to 2:30. That's West Coast time. That's California time. So here it's 3 hours difference. So East Coast time, 3:30 to 4:30, Tales of the Walking Dead panel. 4:30 to 5:30 is Walking Dead panel, I believe. So, and I'm sure it'll be online. But once the information goes up, they'll probably release the trailer on YouTube as well, because more people are not at Comic-Con than are. So they need to get the trailers out. They need to see something different too, and I hope it makes sense as well. So yeah, Daryl could run into hopefully Elizabeth Kublik, hopefully Jadis, and if you got helicopters and they're the only group that we know that has air support, helicopters. So I would assume that would make the most sense to get between America and Europe and get around the globe. And CRM's the only group that we know, unless they introduce a new group, which to me would be pretty dumb. So we'll have to see how it goes down. Kimmy says, Tales looks like it's going to be good. I hope it's good. I hope it's entertaining. I hope it's interesting. And would be great if some of these characters, I think I'm already going to like Anthony Edwards' character. I'm going to like Terry Crews's character. I just feel like I'm going to like certain characters already. And it's going to suck if they die off, which I think it's going to happen. I think the characters are going to be one and done and just die off. But if they leave it open-ended, hopefully we could see them again. It'd be pretty cool. Jonathan Waters says, what if Lori survived and met Negan? Would he try to marry her like he tried with Maggie Waggy? I don't know, right? I mean, that would have been crazy, right? If Lori was still alive and Negan took Lori as one of his wives. Would Rick have cared? But then Rick and Michonne wouldn't have got together or whatever. Lori's death is kind of had to happen on the show for a lot of different stories, just like Glenn's death had to happen for Maggie's development in story 2. So what if Glenn never died? Would Maggie still hate Negan as much? Probably not. She probably would hate Maggie, or Maggie would hate Negan, but not nearly as much because Glenn would still be alive. Just makes you think. But it's good questions. It's good food for thought. There's great questions for it, and it's always fun to discuss. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that we're watching and what's going on with us. Nothing really too crazy. Hopefully you guys are having fun and enjoying summer, staying cool, because it's got to be hot. Like right now, I don't even know what the temperature is. Well, it's been raining all day, so it feels like 90-some degrees still. But hopefully you're staying cool and in good climate control stuff, because you got to be careful. That stuff is for sure. But like I said before, hopefully if you haven't, Fight for Us Reckless is book 16. And it's one of those things where I remember I asked a lot of people, do you guys still read books? Right? Do you read? And people were like, yeah, a lot of people still did, whether it's paperback or Kindle. And, you started thinking about like how many things are actually adaptations of books are into movies or TV series. Like I never really thought about it until you're like, okay, even if it's a comic book, it starts with the writing there. Everything that's good on TV or on movies or shows or streaming or whatever starts with a script, starts with writing, starts with that. So developing characters, developing story, developing, content and a story arc is pretty important no matter what it is. And it's just crazy to think that I've written now with this series and in 100 days, 19 books. And at first, it was daunting. It's scary. Because I'm not a writer. I'm not an English major. I'm not that too. And, it started off a little rough. But I think it's greatly improved. I can't tell you enough. It's very important to edit. So my process is now is like I write it, I do a spell check, I do some quick editing, then I go through it quickly, then my wife reads it and goes through it, and then I read it and go through it, and then it's published. So that's writing it, then editing it, and then another edit, and there. So there's like at least 4, sometimes like almost 5 things that takes time to do. And it's a great way to de-stress or lose yourself in it, because you get lost in the world. I know I do. When I'm writing and I'm picturing where these characters are and picturing what's going on and happening around them and what their mindset would be. And it's a nice escape, and hopefully you guys like it as well. Devin Zane says, Lucille to return as well in 11/23, ? Interesting. Yeah, that's the word. They've been saying that for a while. It would obviously be a flashback. What happens with Negan? Is it going to be like a Shane flashback where Negan sees a woman in the distance and he sees it as Lucille, but it's not? Just like Rick saw Shane at Woodbury, but it clearly wasn't. It was somebody that he thought looked like Shane, and it was like that type of thing. Or does Negan get injured or sick or something, and then he sees her, or he's dreaming? Who knows? So who knows what it's actually going to be? But that's been kind of a rumor right now that Lucille should return. Jeffrey D. Morgan's wife should be back in 11/23. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what the source is, but it should be interesting. I really hope the final 8 episodes are awesome. I'm not thinking they're going to be like the best episodes ever. Some of it might be pretty slow. And then when the Commonwealth really starts to fall apart, it could pick up. But we got 8 episodes to wrap it up. And we've already lost so many characters. Are we going to have remember when we did they had episode 100 where they had the Easter eggs, the callbacks, and the really cool stuff like that? I really hope they do that in the final episode, but also throughout the final 8 episodes. Because they're in a different part. They're not in Georgia. I mean, they are for filming purposes, but not story purposes. They're not, you can't see Rick's house or Morgan's house or whatever. You can't go see those things. Unless people left the area and went back home. You can't see Herschel's farm. You can't, because a lot of shows, when shows end, they go back and they do the clip show stuff where they see where it's at, or they go down memory road and everything gets a return, everything comes full circle again, and it's cool. But I don't know how they can really do that much here, so we'll have to see, what they actually do. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes down. It'll be here before you know it. Next weekend, guys, I'll be back for the live stream, of course. And we'll have a lot of good information. It's good and bad that it's Friday, because I kind of want to know what's going to happen. It would have been great if it was Comic-Con was like Wednesday, and we would know by like midweek, so then we could break it down and see the trailers and all that stuff too. So I don't know what they're going to show us for Tales of the Walking Dead, because we got the little trailer. Hopefully you saw my trailer breakdown of that. I put the promotional photos in there too, and hopefully we get some good stuff as well. Wilson asks, Q&A, the Oceanside coin toss, are you calling heads or tails? That's a good question. Jonathan Wilder, Negan versus Abraham in a talk-off, who would win? I mean, just imagine the conversations. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. That would have been great to see. And it's like I said before, I thought Abraham would have been way more important for the Walking Dead show than Glenn, even though more people like Glenn than Abraham. And I asked the question last live stream, and Glenn won. Glenn won the poll question. Who would you have rather had survive, Glenn or Abraham? I personally would say Abraham, because of the war and the comic relief, and then Glenn dying really changes Maggie for that story arc too. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look at the coin first and go with, like, if it's on heads, I would go tails. If it was on tails, I would call heads. Just the opposite of what you're looking at. But I guess when in doubt, tails never fails is the rhyme. Yeah, so Oceanside, let's talk about a little bit about that too. So that's a good question, Wilson, about the Oceanside stuff. I think Oceanside is going to still be around. I think we'll see Oceanside survive. The heads, tails is going to be who survives, who doesn't. Not everyone's going to die. But the bigger question is, when are we going to see Luke? When are we going to see Jules? Are we ever going to see Cindy again? Right? I mean, Rachel's really running stuff there, which I guess is fine, but Cindy's kind of a plot hole. Character just went away. Luke, I think, will show up in the final part, which we kind of know from pictures. Jack asked, McDonald's or KFC? I got to go McDonald's, man. KFC has some decent chicken. I haven't had their French fry. I haven't had KFC in probably a long time. I don't know, 15 years or so. That's a good question too, Devin. Where is Virgil? That's another one. Are we going to see Virgil? What if Virgil's like, all right, I'm going to leave Alexandria. I'm going to go hang out at Oceanside. And then he's there for the coin toss, and he's like, son of a... And he dies at Oceanside. Got to wrap this stuff up. Virgil is just filler, in my opinion, for Michonne's exit. Just like Georgie was filler for Maggie's exit. They're like, okay, Michonne's going to leave. How's this going to happen? Maggie's going to leave. How's it going to happen? I'm surprised they didn't do something with Rick in that thing, too. I mean, they did with Jadis, but they could have done the same thing. Like, Rick's got to go. Bring in this thing. But they've actually kept Jadis around. It feels forced at times, but Jadis is, or Anne, or whatever her name is, right? She's the character that has many names. Doreen says, heads will roll, tails will get kicked. Gary Page Q&A, is the running up that hill scene one of the best scenes on TV? Gary, what do you mean? The hill from the Pike lineup? Is that what you mean, Gary, with the Whisperer lineup with the Pikes? Because if it is, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's debatable. Is it a good scene, bad scene? Is it so bad it's good? I was trying to think about this too. No show is perfect, right? Like, every show has problems. Oh, and Stranger Things with Max. Nah, I don't think it's the best. I don't think Stranger Things is like the best show ever. Like, I like the show a lot, and I don't think it's like that great. Like, this season was okay. Like, it was good, but I don't think it's Stranger Things to me is not going to be like the best show ever made. And to me, it's going to be. You would have to have a great show. I don't know what's going to beat Sopranos, and I don't know what's going to beat Breaking Bad. And then if Better Call Saul ends in a great way, I don't know what's going to be Better Call Saul. I never really watched The Wire, even though I know people love it. I never really watched Oz. I know people love it. But Stranger Things is a good show, and we'll see how it ends. But, not every show is perfect by any means. There's some stuff that, especially like certain seasons or certain plot holes or certain stories, like, I don't know, like the best shows to me ever, in my opinion, are Breaking Bad and Sopranos. Like, the only thing I think of when I think of Breaking Bad that's bad was the Fly episode. Because, like, nothing happens in it. Like, it's all about Walter killing that fly in the super lab. To me, it's a waste of an episode. You just wasted 40 minutes of your time or whatever watching it. So, other than that, that's the only episode I remember that I was like, wow, that was bad. And it stands out how bad it was. Because all the other episodes are good. The way the story starts, the way it ends, it's good. Sopranos, the ending is a little left open-ended, but, it's good. Walking Dead has its problems. If it ended in season 6, I think it would be like one of the best shows of all time. But it hasn't. And they've had some big, big missteps since season 6. Carol says, Oz was wild for its time. Yeah, I've never watched it. I know it's about the prison, and I know it's got a couple, I think Edie Falco from The Sopranos is in it, I believe. But people have said it was really good. And the same thing with The Wire, too. The Wire's got a couple people from The Walking Dead in it. Father Gabriel, Tyrese, Bob, Stookie, I believe, is in it. And, it's tough because we fall in love with shows and characters and story and writing of it. And, I would never be tell anybody, go complain to an actor or threaten them or whatever. They're just actors. Some people that are crazy, when Josh McDermott was getting death threats or hate mail or hate messages, and Lauren Cohan the same way, and all this stuff was happening. Relax, people. They're actors. Yes, Eugene went against the group and he joined Negan. But that wasn't Josh McDermott, and Lauren Cohan getting all this stuff and all this hate there too. It's just Gabriel was in Oz too. Oh, okay. Father Gabriel's been in a lot of good stuff too. He's had a really good career. Seth has been in some cool stuff. And it's just crazy to think that people get so bent out of shape about a TV show and an actor. And trust me, there's a lot of shows that I've loved in there too, but I'm if anything, I'm man, that's stupid, or that was dumb, that was a waste of time, or what are they doing? What have they done with the show? What have they done with these actors? My wife and I were watching Roseanne on Peacock, and we're on the last season. It's I don't even remember, season 9 or whatever. And the last season is terrible. Roseanne and Jackie win the lottery, and they're doing all this crazy stuff with it, and so many episodes are crazy with it. And then, Dan is barely in it, and he's probably filming something outside of Roseanne as well, and it just falls apart. And then it has its moments, and it's funny. But you're what are you doing here? How are you trying to wrap this stuff? And sometimes it's really hard to wrap stuff up. And I hope The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead has an ending. If you want to go read it, go read the comics. Issue 193. You can go find out about Carl and Sophia and their daughter, their child, and the Commonwealth, and stuff happens with the characters. And a lot of those characters are not on the show anymore. Carl, Sophia, Michonne, Rick. There's not going to be some Rick statue at the Commonwealth. I don't even know who Rick is. Are they going to do the statue thing on the show? If they did the statue thing on the show, who would get it? Who would get the statue at the Commonwealth? Because we already know, in the comics, what happens with Rick, why he gets a statue there. So someone has to die to get it. It just I don't know if it's going to happen. Fred Davis, Laurie Holden got death threats after Andrea shot Daryl in season 2. That's crazy. That's crazy that an actress got death threats because a fictional character shot another fictional character on TV that didn't actually happen. No one actually got shot and killed or injured on there too. It was part of the script, part of the show. And it's crazy. It's just that's, and it's so funny because I guess it's not funny, it's just the terminology that I use, or a term, a phrase. It's ridiculous that people would go and attack someone online because they can get away with it. You're not going to go up to Laurie Holden in person and go yell in her face. If you did, you're probably going to go to jail, get arrested. But online, you can be yeah, I can't believe you did this, blah, 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 blah. Or on your phone typing away. That's crazy. That's crazy to do that, to hurt somebody like that, or physically want to hurt them or scare them, which I have zero tolerance for that. And what's happened to me on, YouTube and social media stuff. I got zero tolerance for that stuff. And we all know who the person or the channel that there's been potentially problems with and people around there as well. That's just crazy to me. Like, come on. Like, I'm not going to go direct message someone threats on there too. Like, it's just ridiculous. And last question here, John, Q&A, what makes more sense? Walkers walking towards the fire or away from the fire? I would say towards it. But again, in season 2, they didn't. And then in season 6, they did. So whatever the continuity is, you kind of have to just stick with it. And that's the biggest thing, and that's one of the things that falls flat in shows, is the continuity is different. Well, they used to do this, and now that same situation comes around, and they don't do this anymore. And it's not explained. Like the whole variant cohort walkers is like, hold on, we got to mix things up a little bit here. We'll throw this in at the end of World Beyond, and then we'll sprinkle it in a little bit, and that'll cover up some plot holes maybe. Nah, come on. Come on. But all right, guys, thank you for joining me today, July 17th, 2022. So next Sunday, I'll be on the live stream, be talking about what we learned at Comic-Con. I'll have some videos about that. I'm excited to find out the information, but I'm keeping my expectations low. Will it happen? Give us information about Rick, some pertinent stuff. Will we see trailers? We should get some dates. We already know when Tales of the Walking Dead is going to be on in 4 weeks. Hopefully we get the dates and stuff. The early word that I've seen online, I don't know if it's true or not, from a couple of different sources I put in the video, is that the Walking Dead could return at the end of September on AMC Plus and early October on AMC. But we'll have to see how it goes down, guys. But thank you, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll be back next Sunday as well. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, working hard. Keep working hard, guys. You can achieve things. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy your weekend.